So Dark, for example, has already earned $100, as has Overtaken. If you make it to round 2, you get $100. If you make it to round 3, you get $200. And then, of course, if you make it to the main event, you get whatever main event prize pool ends up coming your way. So there's prize pool on the line for players, even if they don't make it in the whole way. I felt that was important because there are so many players who've put so much time into the game and so much practice for the qualifiers, and they might not make it the whole way. The top 16 are already going to have, they're already going to make so much money. I felt it was only fair to spread the love. So that's exciting for them if they want some salmon money. Overtaken. I mean, a lot of people didn't really know who this player was, and I think we found out recently what his name used to be back in the Voobly days. I think his name used to be Alliance or something, but not a very well-known player, and he destroyed Madri, played so well, and showing how he is able to play on open maps in round 1. Overtaken's here in the blue. Overtaken playing as the Chinese. Dark is in the green. Dark is a teenager from Russia, teamed up with Vinchester in the 2v2 World Cup. I think I called him 16 once, and then he sent me a message on Discord after watching my cast and said that he's 18, by the way. So maybe it was the other way around. Maybe I said he was 18 and he's 16. Anyways, he's younger than me. And I think he's a very, very good player. A couple years from now, I think if someone like Dark stays a part of our scene, Dark will have upped his level, and the level's got to drop for him to ever get into the top 10, and drop for others, I mean. He's definitely up there. Dark is going to push in some deer right now. Aztecs versus Chinese. A matchup I've seen many times on Arabia, and I think Chinese can really beat any Civ. They do struggle a bit against Mezzo, though. Chinese can struggle against Pikeman Eagle, for example. The Monks. I mean, all Civs really do, but this will come down to the amount of aggression that Aztecs are able to dish out against Chinese. You see Overtaken already making houses here, and this is what you tend to do with Chinese. You wall up. You start with 6 villagers, but you start with 0 food. So you should have the villager lead. You want to make sure you secure that. Overtaken just pushing in deer, just like Dark is right now. So lots of food income coming towards the town centers currently. So they're very close together. This can happen sometimes in Hidden Cup 4 Arabia. And what's even crazier about this is look at the neutral golds. The neutral golds are on the left corner. Honestly, we zoom out, forget about this side of the map. Only 50% of the map matters. I guess there's a few stones out there, but even the relics aren't in the right corner. Like the relics, look, there's a relic here, there's a relic here, here, and then here. I mean, it's fair, it's even, but it's very weird how everything's cramped over to the left-hand side. I've not seen this in the Hidden Cup 4 generation yet, so I'm excited to see what the scouting's going to be like in this game. And maybe mobility won't be as much of a factor if everyone just squishes over to the left-hand side.
Oh.
All right, chat. $1 million tournament. You get game 1. Which Civ would you prefer, Aztecs or Chinese? This is the way my mind sees it. I would probably prefer Chinese. But if I knew the enemy was going to be Aztecs, I would pick Aztecs. Like, Chinese seems so good against most civilizations, but can struggle against Mezzo. Does that make sense? So if it was going to be Chinese against non-Mezzo, which is a great chance of, because there's only 3 Mezzo civs out there, then I would pick Chinese. But Aztecs, I think, shape up a little bit nicer with the Man-at-Arm Rush against a wall-heavy play early on, and they can get momentum. If you don't get a lead against Chinese, though, the cheaper techs, the additional villagers, all that starts to pay off. Overtaken here already. Dark sending a villager over to Golds. Dark garrisoning the TC and missing the scout. Overtaken, very active. Overtaken is arguably the most fun to watch in round 1 out of all the games. There were some great individual games. I will have a lot of them coming to YouTube. I think I have 2 or 3 games from round 1 coming up to YouTube yet. And then there will be 2 or 3 games from round 2 going up to YouTube. I, of course, am casting round 2 over the next 3 days, so I don't really know how many good individual games there will be. Which Civ is better in post-imp? Can I say it depends? Because if we go late game scenario, both get Siege Ram. But if you're looking at their options, Aztecs can struggle a little bit with trash. I mean, Aztecs have really good skirms, and they have really good pikemen, but they don't get horses. So Chinese could get light cav. So in theory, that should give Chinese the lead. But then again, you know, if Aztecs have relics, then they get more gold per relic. I don't know. It's a really close matchup. There can be no question over the civilizations. Let's just put it that way. And no question over how they've opened up. I think both players have played really smart. Dark, he'll be in feudalation 40 seconds. He's walling this backside of his base. And he will eventually try and get his walls down. I really like his economic approach as well, from what I'm seeing. And then Overtaken knew the walls needed to be down. And Overtaken in feudal age now has the walls down, is adding the stable, and will go for scouts. Overtaken also seems to have so much food in the bank, so it's not unrealistic to possibly see the wood and the farm upgrade and then the farms. And I'm not really seeing how Dark can break in here, and this is where Chinese start to feel very strong after those farms go up. Scouts are going to come out. For now, Dark isn't completely walled. They could team wall this. Dark can just wall like this, right? This is a team game now. It's so weird. This map generation, though. It honestly feels like there should be another team on the right side of the map. And then they can team wall together. I mean, wow. Well, Dark ended up getting the Man-at-Arms upgrade, and he's going to do what he can, and he's going to attack that stable. That at least forces Overtaken to make an archer range sooner rather than later, or repair the stable. But I hate being in this position, because you can't do any damage, and it's a big investment. And now the scouts are coming over from Overtaken. The 55th seed, and Overtaken trying to block the villager as the villager's running, and oh, Dark is clicking a bunch! Well played from both. That was honestly sick play from both, because it's click priority now. In the past, the blocking was rather awkward in Age of Empires, and it was based on who was player 1 and who was player 2. And there, it just came down to Dark was clicking a lot. I guess you could call that out-microing, and Dark now has the awareness to bring the spear over here, fight with the villagers, keeps that villager alive for now, has another spear on this wall. I mean, this is a good game from Dark. Good game from Overtaken, too, as you see Overtaken adding the archer range. Yeah, Overtaken will know that one of those two villagers are weak, and Overtaken will also recognize the walls are going to be attempted again. Dark has the spearman. But Overtaken has the mobility. Let's see. Dark clearly knows the situation. He knows the scouts are coming in for villagers. Some quick walls on the gold now. Quick walls on the houses. Or not on the houses, you know what I meant. On the wood line with the houses. Overtaken acting like he's going to attack a farmer, forcing Dark to garrison. This is some high-level Arabia right here.
But nay.
This is cool stuff. It just sucks for Dark because he's got a quick wall so much. He does have the spearman. Spearman counter scouts, but it's how you use them. Very patient play from Overtaken. He just did the loop-de-loop. And look at Dark's quick walls. Now, he'll fail that quick wall, but he shouldn't lose the Vill. Incredible stuff here, guys. Honestly, I think Overtaken should make one skirm. Oh, he already has it. Yeah, don't even make a second one. Just make one skirm and just sit it there. So Dark has to run away from the stable. You might need to make more because you need to get out to your gold somehow. This gold being very exposed. But he's just going out there now anyways. And these scouts are still moving around. Oh, and that was a weak farmer. And Overtaken tried to doink it. Did not happen. Villager's 14 HP there. That's funny to see. I'm wondering what Dark is going to do as a follow-up. He's just had... Okay, now there's a range, so he might make some archers. But he's just had Spearman in this game. And look at Overtaken Scout Micro. To the Overtaken fans that are still with us from last week. Overtaken delivering in game 1 with some excellent aggression. And excellent defense. Just don't lose your freaking stable. Okay, repairing the stable now. Going over to gold. Yeah, look at that food eco for Overtaken. Did just lose these scouts. Still has one scout remaining. And only one villager's gone down in this game. There's actually not been many kills, but I think I'd prefer to be in Overtaken's current position. He should be able to get knights at some point. Now, you can make an argument that maybe Dark should have pressured this gold. He certainly should have stopped attacking the stable at this point. Man-at-Arms, in theory, are pretty good against skirms, but reality is Overtaken will just micro it. When I said still with us, I didn't mean that somebody died. No. I did not mean that. I just meant that a lot of people were impressed with Overtaken's play in the previous rounds, and there were many people who... Like, type a 1 in chat if you really like to root for underdogs. There's a lot of people who like to root for underdogs. I, as someone who has played Overtaken a bunch of times, especially recently, and as someone who has... Like, I experience a lot of these players a lot. Oftentimes I'm on the receiving end of losses, I'll be honest, but anyways, I feel especially attached to a lot of these names because I experience them on the ladder all the time and I know how active they are. And so I really have a belief that some of the... Oh, God! Dark just deleted his vill! Dark just deleted his villager next to the gold. Dark meant to delete the palisade, and he deleted the woman. And now is on the way to Castle Age. Oof. Anyways, as I could say, like, using Dark as an example, I have a belief that if you don't delete your gold miners, that you can go places in Age of Empires. Oh my God, that's a weak vill? Okay, never mind. Yeah, this Overtaken player, fun to watch. An Overtaken going to go into Knights. Just the lack of high skirm numbers was very... I say lack, and that's probably the wrong word here, because I think it's a good thing. It's very smart. Because a lot of people in that position would overmake skirms to take out the spears, but he figures, I don't need to take out the spears. I can just avoid the spears. If I make skirmishers, the enemy's probably going to go into eagles anyways, so... You know, that, and not getting fletching. I can't tell you how many times I would have researched fletching there. Just smart decisions, and the scout's still running around. But Dark is a civilization that can snowball real quick, and it's a composition that can snowball real quick. By the way, speaking of high-level players who aren't quite going to make it all the way, it's cool to see No Isaac in chat. No Isaac played in the qualifier. I saw Project Belgium in chat, also someone who played in the qualifier. Also, I've seen some names in chat that weren't quite good enough to make it into the qualifier, but some... Like, I saw Delta out there. He's a German player around 2K. Cool to see you guys watching this. And the Knights are knocking on the door, but once these become Eagle Warriors, once the Aztec player goes, as we see a TC for some monks as well, I could see this becoming dangerous in 3 town centers for Dark. I'm not sure I would go for this approach, personally. I think that I would have gone for 2 TCs and a monastery to get monks out. But really prioritizing the boom here is Dark, and Dark going to repair. What was that timing? That scout's still being annoying. All right, repair on the palisades. Eagle Warrior upgrade is in, and the Knights honestly need to back away anyways. And Dark, we'll have chain barding pretty soon. This scout is even annoying me at this point. Oh my God, it's going after a weak vill. You're kidding me. Well, he dies, but pay respects in chat for that scout, because that was just sick awareness from Overtaken. Overtaken also 3 TCs. TC, 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 good eco. He has additional villagers right now over Dark, so maybe Dark will be happy with having 3 TCs as well to keep this even. 17 military versus 7. This is where it gets tough when you're fighting with Knights. What do you do? Normally, you're going to want to have... more Knight numbers than Eagles, right? That's obvious. But since Dark is getting the infantry upgrades, he could eventually just switch into pikemen. So I think you can go for monks to heal or get conversions. It's not ideal against Eagles, but that's an option. You could also just try and take timely engagements. I normally would say Scorpion, but I don't think you add Scorpion right now because you need to have farm numbers. So when you add the Scorpions is also very important because you don't need the Scorpions right now. You might need the Scorpions around 26 or 27 minutes. What's up, Greed? Greed, another player who, like I said, within the top 100. I am going to keep the mustache for now, yes. I made some goals with you guys on the 24-hour stream, which I haven't really delivered on yet. I haven't gone skydiving yet. I also have not... hosted Liquor League yet, which I wanted to do, so 30 on food for Overtaken and just not hesitating to move in again. And Dark also pressuring at the same time. And both players going for defensive walling. Oh my god, Dark, you're kidding me. Is he actually going to keep these units out here? I mean, the Palisade Gate shouldn't stay up, right? This is incredible play from both of them. There's the Monk. Immediate reaction from Dark to get the conversion, but immediate reaction from Overtaken to kill the Monk. This is some high-level Age of Empires right here, guys. And, oh! Just passing! Now, is this going to be good, or is this going to be bad for Dark? Dark just loops around to the farms. So much for having a lot of farmers. I mean, there's wood lines back here to hit as well. That's a nifty move from Dark, and Dark will also see this area as a spot that he could raid. That said, now his force is split up. So I think this group of Eagles is going to go down to the Knights. And pretty soon Overtaken, as long as he can keep his villagers alive, which he's not right now, because Dark is splitting up. But yeah, it feels as though the Knights might be able to take out these Eagle numbers in a second. But just think of the idle time for Overtaken. So many idols. Villagers pulled off of wood, farms, even gold. I think, anyways, as we see another TC. But yeah, like I said, the Knights clear this now. So high risk, high reward there for Dark. Dark now doesn't have the mass anymore. What do you think about this TC, chat? I think ideally you'd probably have this TC on the gold, but there's a hill there, so you can't do that. I like the stone count currently for Overtaken. Could eventually think of a castle, either forward or defensively on this side. Now we're seeing pikemen for Dark, but Dark doesn't have a lot of eagles combined with it, and so I don't think that was worth it for Dark. And Dark could even get smashed by this. Few eagles and one monk, and Overtaken, no hesitation, and Dark at least get a conversion. Dark, oh no, doesn't get the conversion. Overtaken is so quick. 75 villagers, 13 military. Looking good for Overtaken in game one. Reminder that Dark, he was not expected to win in round one, but he did. He was the 42nd seed. Overtaken was the 55th seed and won in round one. An even bigger upset. This is sick. So, according to the seeds, Dark is the better player. According to the highest rating they've ever achieved. Can someone remind me where Overtaken is on the bracket? Isn't he in Backed bracket? I think the winner of this will face the winner of Backed and Song Song, right? And Overtaken is from Estonia, yes. So, Backed and Song Song will play tomorrow. Winner of that moves into the best of 7 against the winner of this right here. Which, in speaking to some high-level players, many high-level players feel like that's the quote-unquote easiest group. But, I don't know, man. I'm pretty hyped to see what these games are going to deliver. Backed, probably favored against Song Song, but how many times have we seen favored players go down in these qualifiers so far as Overtaken takes the hill? And now I think he's thinking of Scorpions. Does he have enough Knights to hold the middle right now, though? As more and more pikemen are coming out, there's some monks getting some conversions.
Okay.
And again, Overtaken going in after the monks now, and that's 300 gold down the drain for Dark. And 93 villagers versus 82. Dark didn't have Sanctity that whole time. That is really sloppy. You've got to have Sanctity. Sanctity gives your monks more HP, and with Aztecs you get plus 5 HP for every monk upgrade, so you get even more HP on top of that upgrade compared to any other civ. But maybe Scorpion should have been out. I mean, the Siege Workshops tell us that Overtaken was thinking about it, but this unit spam from Aztecs is nuts. 88 villagers versus 94, and this game has shifted big time. I think Overtaken wants to build a castle. I wonder if Overtaken's scared about this. Because if so, Overtaken might drop a castle here. In an ideal world, Overtaken would have overtaken the middle and then dropped the castle on Dark. But Dark's not going to allow that. Just think maybe the Scorpion timing wasn't there. You saw the low numbers of pikemen. Maybe the Siege Workshops could have been further back. But these games are so cutthroat. It's very hard to call what to do, when to do, where to place it. Great decisions from Dark right now. Dark, he's going to lose these pikemen. But what Dark is doing is he's controlling the gold. He's able to build the Siege Workshop. He's able to get reinforcements forward. He is controlling the game right now. By the way, update on what's going on the right side real quick. We have a villager dropping outposts everywhere and houses. So we know that there's not a lot over there. That could be an area that Blue will try and control, maybe with some light cav raids later on. But Dark is taking the villager lead. He has the military lead. The Scorpions are useless back here. Big mistake from Overtaken to not get the Scorpions in earlier than he did. And maybe the 4th TC was a bit early. Now he's going to drop a castle. I mean, if the castle goes up, and it's important that it does, Chukunu could come out. So Dark has a ram here right now. Dark's going to try and deny this castle. What a crazy moment. It's messy, but if the castle goes up, it controls the area. Suddenly, the Scorpions are usable again. The golden stone is mineable. I don't see Dark denying this. Yes, the ram is there, but if the castle goes up, all that Overtaken needs to do is garrison vills into the castle, send them out to the other side, and take out the ram. It's certainly not clean, but we'll see exactly what I just said. Garrison units into the castle. Into the castle. Into the castle. But he might not need it. He'll have knights here. And now he has the castle fire to help, and he's going to make some Chukunu. Overtaken has just come back in the game. Because he put this TC on stone. As his second TC, he was able to have the stone count. And soon he could go for another castle. What a sick game. And now think about Dark's position. You've been making pikemen with success. And suddenly pikemen doesn't feel all that good anymore. Now you might want to think about Imp and Eagle Warriors. But only Eagle Warriors. And for the time being, Eagle Warriors will die to Knights. My brain is exploding here. This is so fun. I think it's both the fact that we don't know as much about the players, and they've been underdogs going into the qualifier and making it here. But it genuinely is the quality of the game as well. Dark falling behind, and then realizing how to come back. Overtaken, then falling behind, and realizing how to come back. And now Dark, I guess you could argue he's behind for the next couple minutes. He's going to buy time, and he's on his way to the Imperial Age. Funnily enough, I think he's going to drop his own castle. I'm wondering where that spot should be. Here? Might be too risky. His pikemen are just raiding and running around. Chukunu are on the way to deal with that. It's 2 castles for Overtaken, which will make him very... his position will be defended when the raids come in. So it'll be difficult for Dark to get any raids in with Elite Eagle. Here, Eagles and pikemen go down, but Overtaken doesn't have him. He might even have too many on stone, you could argue. And 130 vills for Dark versus 107. So 130 vills with Imp. It's not bad. I see 2 relics for Overtaken. He got those nice and early. There's also one next to his castle. Dark's going to try and get this relic right now. That knight seems to be trapped, and that goes down. Look at this little line of outposts and houses over here. Blue's got to be so confused. Like, where are the extra golds in this map? Well, they're over here. And what a great castle spot for Dark. And another castle from Overtaken. And he's sending knights and Chukunu this way. What in the... Wow. And Overtaken's on the way to Imp. Now, I think both castles go up here. And this becomes really fascinating now. Because... Dark has sent the proper amount of vills, but I don't know if he can treb down 2 castles with a faster Imp. Plus, he can't mine this gold. Plus, you've still got the awkwardness of the Chukunu and the Knights here. And he's got plenty of resources, but what do you do from here? Elite Eagle on the way. I'd say continue to make Chukunu, continue to make Knights if you're in Overtaken's position. You could consider thinking about going champion, but I think since you have the upgrades, again, just go Knight Chukunu for now and go champion later. Okay, 1 treb comes out. That's great, but it's just a lonely trebuchet, and you have 2 castles to treb down. Chukunu raiding farming eco right now. In 50 seconds, Dark will have the important armor upgrade in. The armor upgrade is really what you're going to want with the Eagles. But Elite Eagle's already in. For now, Overtaken will take these fights because the Eagles are only going to get stronger from here. So, I guess instead, maybe he's trying to raid. But this villager, the hero villager, could start to send Light Cav into the Woodlines. I think we'll see the Light Cav upgrade here in a second. And with that, and there's so many Chukunu here. An upgraded Chukunu. Maybe there is a chance for Overtaken against the power of Aztecs. It just sucks for Overtaken that he's got to take engagements with the Chukunu before his upgrades. Now Imperial Age is in. Will the Chukunu still be alive after the upgrades? And will he have the gold for the upgrades? He actually does not have a lot of gold right now. He doesn't even have Bracer on the way. I'll keep you updated. I think we will see some pressure coming in, but never mind. Dark spotted that. Dark also has trebbed down one castle already. Man, this has got out of hand quickly. Dark with 150 vills, 50 military, and Overtaken just at 150. Chukunu are so strong, though. Imagine if these were upgraded. Guy does not have access to gold right now. This gold is on the front, and I don't see that being safe if this castle gets trebbed down. There's also been eagles in the back of Overtaken's base. The neutral golds we talked about in full control for Dark, and I mean, he's got 55 on gold with Aztecs. How on earth are you going to stop that? Bracer's just now coming in. There's only 12 Chukunu remaining. I think this is game over now. Wow. Yeah, I mean, the fact that the neutrals are in the area that Dark was able to secure just ends up snowballing it even more than it would otherwise. I think, yeah, if the neutral gold was over here, Dark would still take it. If it was over here, Dark would still have control of it. But the fact that he's able to push Overtaken's resources and also gain all of this gold, which he noticed really early, and much earlier than Overtaken, I think will end up giving him the winning position. I mean, I see him getting skirm upgrades now. He might be a little worried about the Chukunu, but look at this. I didn't even see that Overtaken had placed this castle. Dark's just going to make a unit. That's a funny spot for University, Dark. But Dark would have taken out the castle anyways with the Eagles. And what a game one, ladies and gents. Best game of the day, for sure. Overtaken was ahead. Dark was ahead. It went back and forth. And in the end, I think the faster imp and the bigger boom for Dark did it. And I have to think back to when Overtaken had the lead but wasn't able to mix in Scorpions. These Siege Workshops ended up losing in the game. I think making a Siege Workshop here and mixing in 3 or 4 Scorpions would have led to better fights, which would have led to better control, which would have led to maybe him having control of this corner. There was a moment there where Dark didn't have to have a lot of military on the field because he was able to push Overtaken back, and that's when he just switched to Imp. That was beautiful. Let's just tab into the statistics real quick. I'm curious on what the boom looked like for Dark because his Vil high was 146. There's that KD, and look at that eco. Perhaps the most underrated part of Dark's play in this game was his economy. Because we were talking about Overtaken's economy, and then, 22,000 food or wood collected, but 14,000 gold collected. Dark was also able to get 2 relics just like Overtaken did. Arlen says Overtaken was also super slow on a castle. By the time 1 went up, he had stone for 2. I think, though, that his castle time was perfect for his eco Farland. It was just that he didn't have control when the castles went up, and then everything got crazy. Right? Like, it would have been perfect if he had 3 or 4 Scorpions with his Knights and he didn't lose that left side. So I don't think that it was necessarily poor game planning. It's just that things went wrong, and then it'll never be perfect from there. Yeah, maybe the slight power of Aztecs over Chinese there. I'm not sure. But all I know is game number 1 was beastly. And game number 2 is going to be on... What is game number 2 going to be on? Game number 2 is going to be on slopes. I talked about Japanese in the last set. You better get used to seeing Japanese in this tournament because we'll see a lot of it. We have Japanese on slopes of all maps. Now, before we hop in, look at the civilizations for Overtaken. He's got Spanish, Mongols, Saracens, Mayans, all other than Britons. And so I think maybe, as I have to go into the game and unpause, there we go. I think maybe Dark was picking Japanese, expecting some Cav Civ. Dark has gone Japanese here for game number 2. We'll give him his win. And it's actually up against Britons. a civ that I think I've seen once on this map, but I have not seen a ton of it. And I have not seen a ton of Japanese either, though I can tell you with practice games, the Japanese are fine civilization, especially if you feel like a civilization like Indians would be strong on this, or Huns, or Magyars. Japanese, when it gets to pikemen, it's very tough for those civs to deal. So yeah, you've got 2 shorefish and 4 deer on either side. It's up to scouting on this map to see if the enemy's even going for that. Japanese have cheaper mills, so they can go out there quite easily and take advantage of it. If I had to guess, I would say that Dark goes for a man-at-arm opening and tries to make this very messy because he will know that Britons are the better civilization if this goes into archers. Last game was the first game that Overtaken had lost in the qualifier so far. Whereas Dark in the first round, and you could argue that Dark had a better opponent, but Dark had to win 3-2 in round 1, whereas Overtaken just destroyed Madri. And I'm excited, man. I think this might go to 5 games. I mean, after watching game 1, I could definitely see this series going to 5 games. All right, so I missed a lot of subs because I had another tab open over the sub sheet. So Imperial Militia, thank you for 2 years. Imperial Militia says, hey, I'm new here. Yeah, I know. Everyone's new, right? Hello, Ike. Thanks for 18. Thank you very much, John Ice, with 2 months of support. At this point, if you're subbing to the stream, it does add to the total prize pool of the main event, which is March 18th through the 21st. So thanks, everyone. But, of course, to everyone who's around, regardless of if there's an event or not, you guys are the MVPs. I got up at 7:30 a.m. this morning. Some of you guys are early risers. Most of you are going to say I should stop complaining about it, but it was awful. So it makes it worth it. Thank you, Golden Eagle, for the prime. I think I have to be up at 7:30 a.m. tomorrow, too, because I think tomorrow starts at 8 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, it'll be fine. Yo, Dirk, thank you for the 3 months of subbing. Thank you, Games for Darns, Games for Danes? Is that what that says? Yes, thank you for the 20. PC Nerd with 11 says, why were highways in medieval Scotland and Ireland so dangerous? Too many woad raiders. I like it. I like it. Jello Jar, thanks for 6. What's up, Pacello? What's up, Kempasa? Mero? The cool stuff. I think we're going to start to see what the game plans are in a moment. Overtaken with the barracks. Do you see what Overtaken has done? He says, I'm not going to take the sides. I'm going to push the deer from the sides. So instead of taking a risk to go out here with a mill, Overtaken has pushed in 2 deer. Interesting. There won't be any fish and chips in this game, but there might be in this series. And here goes Dark. Dark is going to build a mill. Now that mill is only 50 wood for Japanese. Taking the deer before the shorefish. Interesting. I mean, in total, you have 400 food with the shorefish, and then 640 food from the deer. So it's 1,040 food. Quick maths on each side. That is a lot of food to be gained. I wonder if Overtaken's going to scout the fact that the enemy's over there, though. Because it looks like he's going to go for Drush full wall. Almost like a Drush fast castle approach, which is... I mean, it's not how a lot of other people played this map. You see the scout moving out now. That scout, of course, had to be at home to push in the deer. Kind of have an idea of what's over there. And you just don't know if they're taking the resources right. Dark. This looks like a build of going up towards man-at-arms or archers. I think this will be feudal age play, whereas I'm not sure about blue.
Ready.
But blue doesn't know where to attack right now. Like, look, the scout hits the TC. Okay, what Overtaken will see is that the berries are here and that the enemy's not on berries. And if you see the enemy's not on berries, you have to assume they have a mill at this point, so you have to guess the side. Oh, he's closer to the left side, so he might go there. There's the gold. That's pretty close to the TC, though. Do you really want to do this? I'm waiting for a garrison from Dark. And the blocking from Overtaken, and the Vil goes down. The scout goes down as well. A nice gate there from Dark. Oh, take the sheep. Free sheep. Never mind. Messy situation. Quick walls from Dark now. Who is on the way to feudal age, but lost the villager. And oh, this could be 2 villagers dead. Okay, fortunately, they can run out the other way. Well, I don't think Dark was expecting a Drush. I don't remember the last time I've ever seen a Drush on this map. I've seen Men-at-Arms, but I've not seen a straight-up Drush, and that hit so early, Dark was just not expecting it. And I think Dark now is going to try and punish and go forward with Villagers. But very messy economy. How good is it, though, that while Villagers have gone down, there's 5 Villagers collecting all this food out here. Look at the economy for Overtaken. Overtaken. Ooh, wait a second. Dark Scout is in here. This is really important. But yeah, Overtaken's starting to just add farms, and it's looking more and more like a fast castle behind this pressure. And now you see some militia coming forward. They're going to attack the walls, and there's a tower for Dark. Now, this is why this is important. The normal reaction to this type of a push from Dark is to wall behind. If the Feudalade Scout is in there, you can't wall behind with one Vill. You have to have 3 or 4 of them. And suddenly, Overtaken's plans are going to change because of this pressure. He needs to keep the Man-at-Arms out. Man-at-Arm upgrade on the way for Dark, and I would prefer Dark's position as you now see the TC taking out the militia over here. And what's nice about Dark's position is he's putting on pressure, but it's cheap for him to be able to expand his eco to the sides because of the cheap mills. Or if he needs to get a mining camp up on stone, which he's now doing for another tower, should be pretty easy for him to do. And I think Overtaken, I think his strat's getting punished big time right now. He won't have the food to go Castle H. This is not a fast castle map. In fact, this might not even be a fast castle tournament. There's some maps you could maybe consider. I mean, Hideout, I guess. Hideout, you probably should go FC. Beyond that, not too short. Look at Dark with the cheeky attempt to wall these units in. I'm liking the confidence that Dark is showing in this series so far. Villagers attacking the wall. Of course, Overtaken can't do anything except wall more and more. On the bright side for Overtaken, Overtaken has not lost many villagers. In 30 seconds, Overtaken will be in feudal. Also cannot mine stone currently. So, oh no, I'm sorry. There's stone over here. But yeah, we'll be able to place a tower, and I assume place a tower in a second. And probably add some archer ranges to make some ranged units like skirmishers and archers. I just don't like the fact that Overtaken has invited all this pressure onto himself like this. It's what the strategy... I mean, it's a perfect reaction from Dark, right? But when you play this passive, this is what you should expect. Dark has to be careful. I think this is a mistake from him. This can happen sometimes. And the units were pathing around. The Man-at-Arm goes down. It's not the biggest deal. More important to keep the archers alive right now. And look at Dark. Dark is going to send 2 villagers and 3 archers into that tower. He's getting a blacksmith down, so he wants to get fletching, and he's just going to send archers into the tower, while Overtaken needs to idle 5 villagers each time. It's an interesting approach. Now, on this side, you have Dark taking the resources. On this side, Dark is out of the resources, but he's brought in 1,000 food with that. Still got the berries, still has plenty of areas to get food. Deno says, is there an idea of making Hidden Cup even bigger, like maybe 32 or even 64 players? Technically, it's 72 already, Deno. If you think about it. You have the top 8 already in the main event. The qualifier is 64 players. The main event being more than 16, I think, would not be a very good idea for a lot of reasons. Because there's only... I mean, first and foremost, it wouldn't be short and sweet. Did he just delete his... I don't actually think he deleted the tower. I was distracted by chat. I think maybe the tower got shut down. But, Overtaken falling apart here as I answer this question because of Dark's pressure. But yeah, if you have 32 or 64 names in a random bracket, it makes it a lot... It just makes it a lot crazier. I mean, random brackets in general are tough. But I think top 16 is the sweet spot, both for viewer enjoyment, because there's only a certain amount of names that people know. And then also, realistically, for what would come from a randomized bracket. Yeah, it'd be way too confusing. It'd be way too much. I agree with you. I think about it, though, in a random bracket. Like, what if if you do a 32-man bracket, there's just more potential that the top 8 are going to be on the same side. So, like, Overtaken and Dark make Hidden Cup semifinals. The other semifinal is Viper versus Leary. Hera and Yo were knocked out in round 1. You know, it would be... I mean, all the Hidden Cups have that potential for crazy brackets, but I think it might be too much. And do you think Dark is overextending here? Good play from Overtaken. Dark's honestly going to get a Vil kill from this, so he won't be too worried. But, Dark, I think you've got to be happy with the amount of damage you've been able to do here. You're denying resources. And I think you've just got to calm it down a little bit and just sort out your economy. Start to mix in some farms at home. Because this food does eventually run out. You could even debate taking the food over here since you have the villagers. And boom! Called it! Yeah, I mean, why not? Why walk all the way home at this point? It's not like Overtaken as archers. But yeah, Dano, it's not a bad thought. This is what I like to say. There's many good thoughts and many good ideas. But some of those thoughts and ideas might not to be good in practice. And I don't mean that to be, you know... I'm not dissing your idea or anything. But for example, hidden score we talked about yesterday. Where the score is hidden and you don't see if the enemy is in Dark Age or Feudal Age. It never tells you what age the enemy's in. That's pretty cool idea in thought. In practice, after seeing it play out, which happened a few years ago, it wasn't really all that good. So Overtaken has enough stone for a castle right now. What on earth is this? Adding a market, already has a blacksmith. We'll probably sell like 200 stone and just buy food. And then the game plan is to drop a castle in Castle Age and just destroy a tower and then take gold. There it is. What in the world? I mean, a great game, right? If you look at how many villagers have been killed, it's 3-2. Remember that Overtaken had the strong start with the Drush. And you could argue that it was more effective from Overtaken, his economic raid, because he killed a villager when there were less villagers on the field, which makes more of an impact percentage-wise. It's a lot more devastating to lose a villager at 20 pop than it is at 40, right? And then also Dark had more villager idle time, or I guess we can see the stats here, but he's had a lot of villagers building towers and running around the map. That said, one thing that doesn't show up with the statistics is the map control. I mean, Dark, he's not being pressured at all right now. And he's got pretty good vision on everywhere around this map, even going to take this side. But the castle time, the fact that Overtaken will be able to make longbowmen, I mean, it's exciting, but also will make for a very difficult game for Dark. I guess Dark could think about going elite skirm, maybe even go defensive towers with Japanese. Let me look at Overtaken scouting for a second. Okay, Overtaken, if paying attention, should see that that deer is dead. You will always see that in the Fog of War. I think it's a mistake from Dark to take the deer before the shorefish, just for that reason. Like here, he's taking both. That also could be scouted, and eventually longbows could go over there. But here's a tower from Dark as he's harassing that wood line. Here's a tower from Dark as he's harassing this wood line. I mean, Overtaken has just made these lumber camps for wood. He's going to have to make another one pretty soon. But there's a castle, and that castle will mean that longbows will probably be the choice of military for Overtaken. Which is kind of rare. And then Overtaken can chop this wood at least. There is a skirmisher over here just scouting out for Overtaken. Dark in Castle Age in 10 seconds. I'm really curious. I think his eco should be better, right? He's actually missing the wood upgrade. But he'll realize that.
Grayton?
I mean, the way that Dark has been poking at Overtaken's villagers is... It's got to mean that Overtaken is worse off when it comes to economy. Feels like it should be anyways. As we see a siege workshop from Dark as well. This is crazy pressure.
Ready.
Thing is, longbows, pretty good against Mangonels actually if you mask them. Dark thought that he had the Feudal Age wood upgrade. And now he went to get the Castle Age one and realizes, whoops. So he'll just have to think to get the Castle Age one after the fact. I think Overtaken is distracted with what's over here at the moment. And what in the... why are you tossing away villagers over here? Oh, he might want a TC on this side. Microing the vills. Dark will be happy with this, though. because Dark has killed some vills on the other side. Oh, a while ago, it was 3-2 with the eco killed. What are you doing? Overtaken. What are you doing? He thinks the longbows are going to take out the archers, I guess, but don't toss away vills like this. And all that Dark's going to do is go for villagers, because the archers will never last next to longbows. Now it's 11 kills economically. Just 2 deaths for Dark. And I think that Overtaken is just distracted. And there's so many areas he can't collect. Like these villagers, he might have clicked them to a straggler tree, and then they automatically go back over to this wood line. That's crazy pressure. Meanwhile, TC for Dark over here. So he'll have even more villagers because of the economy, and a third TC as well. I'd say going forward, the real worry for Dark is just dealing with the longbowmen. This is a good move from Overtaken, though. Sending the villas over to deal with this tower so you can chop this wood line. Look how messy this wood line is. Look, there. I'm pretty sure there's a lumber camp in there. Actually, I take it back. There's not a lumber camp in there. And these villagers are walking all around. Oh, my goodness. At least the TC's up on the side, though. Skirmisher counterattack. Woohoo!
Yay.
I think Overtaken's going for another cheap Britain TC. Yep, there it is. Oh, next to the enemy blacksmith, though. That's rough. Dark is just going to play defense with towers and skirms and boom this one out. 4 town centers you can see on the map now for Dark. It's a good approach, I'd say, but I'm a little worried about the 4 TC thing. Because you only have 8 on food right now, Dark. Then again, with 800 wood, could easily have more farms in a bit. Skirms as well, could probably use the final armor upgrade, could use ballistics. This is so annoying as a player. You make your military and you try and patrol across the map, just in case you encounter something on the way to their destination, and you patrol into an enemy mill. And then here you patrol into an enemy archery range. Here you patrol into an enemy mill. And you're focusing on booming and doing so many different things, so you don't realize until the last second sometimes. Like, wait a second, where are my longbowmen? And then you look and they're stuck attacking a house or something. Ooh, hole there. Now, on one hand, Overtaken is going to want to make sure that he keeps his longbowmen alive, because that's his best form of military. On the other hand, he might want to get some Vill picks because he lost so many. I see Dark getting ballistics now. Dark has the skirms. 7 range on the skirms. Longbows with 8 range. Longbows not having ballistics, but they're doing work right now for Overtaken. Kind of reminds me of game number 1, where I liked one player's position more, and then in mid-castle age, the other person was able to come back with more military. It's a completely different game, but it's similar to how that happened with Dark and Overtaken in game 1, where Overtaken had the lead, and then Dark came back with better military. And the micro from Overtaken's honestly sick. Really good job here. Unfortunately for him, I think he's going to have to kill everything because he's going to be trapped in. And look at him out-microing ballistics here. Ballistics is in for Dark. There's been multiple moments where he's out-microing ballistics. Damn. Well, it looks pretty. He needs to make sure that he's focusing on his economy too, and that's probably what's happening right now. And yeah, look, the longbows. Look, he re-patrolled them into the freaking blacksmith. He's also got more longbows on the front right now, though. 18 longbows against just 3 skirmishers, and these 3 longbows are still over here. What is happening? Overtaken, taking it back right now. Dark. I mean, he was the one who had denied those wood lines, and now his wood lines are getting ranged by longbows. Freaking hype, man. Longbows and Hidden Cup 4 qualifiers, let's go. Also, more on stone for blue at home, so there could be another castle at some point. Still behind in eco, but now Dark is trying to expand all over the map. So he's found some reward with these TCs. He's got stones and golds on either side to protect too, but he's losing the middle. And on slopes, you can have side focus, but you can have middle focus. Imagine the control for Overtaken if he could get a castle up in the middle. There's so much stone and gold there. Good point in chat. Maybe the 4 TCs was a bit early. Maybe prioritizing more skirms. Prioritizing skirm upgrades is the call. It's really hard to find that balance. If these players are going to know what balance they should go for, it's just execution in-game. This game is kind of difficult, which is why only so many players are able to play at the high level. Age of Empires is so complicated to play. There's only 100 players in the top 100. Imagine that. Actually, that's not true. Actually, it's not true. In Age of Empires, there's only like 50 players in the top 100. Because if you think about it, I think Dark is ranked something like 75th, but he ended up being 42nd seed because of all the Smurf accounts. Because there's so many players in the top 100 that have multiple accounts. So I'm actually wrong on that. I take it back. Because I was looking, when I was ranked 107th, I looked and I was actually ranked something like 60th in the world. So, yeah, there's so many Smurfs, man. Good clear up for Dark, though, and maybe the eco finally kicking in a little bit. That and the skirm upgrades. He finally got that final armor upgrade. And now suddenly there's 10 longbowmen. That's not the most convincing, but Dark can fortunately see, though it's not an exciting realization, that Overtaken's now going to make some knights. So knights in answer to the skirms. What do you think about this castle? I don't like it. I feel like with a few knights and longbowmen, you can push forward and build a more bold castle, a bolder castle. That doesn't really secure much. When you're behind, I think you're going to need to be more aggressive. And again, it's not like he has that many knights, and the worry would be failing to get the castle up and then losing the game. 50 on food for Dark. Incredible speed to be able to fight and also macro like this, as he adds another town center. It's funny how the Britain player has the cheaper town centers and is on 3. Japanese do not have any real town center bonuses. And oh, the longbows! And the Japanese player is going to be on 5 here. He might be 18, but he's a boomer. There's 4th TC for Overtaken. But 53 on food means that skirms can come out for days. And with this many skirms, you can even take out knights. 28 of them right now. Of course, there's still golds and stones here that can't be taken just yet because Dark's tower. Overtaken could... Honestly, should have gone for a Mangonel. Like, knights is not bad. But I think longbow Mangonel has more potential. Because at least with the Mangonel, you could do good against pikemen too. Overtaken dodging the skirms as well as he can, but... he doesn't have enough knights to engage against the skirms. He needed to have a big push, and Dark on the way to Imperial Age. My big takeaway from watching game 1 and 2 is that Dark's macro is insane. Because I felt as though he was losing game 1, or at least it was even at one point, and then suddenly he shot up to 60 farmers. And here it was the same. Like, he had 8 on food when he got to Castle Age and went 4 TCs with it. Now with 60 farmers, 5 TCs. This is sick. Skirmishers against knights, not ideal. And it is possible that Dark could lose all of these skirmishers before Imperial Age. Chain barding on the way for Overtaken as well. He's taking the map. Dark probably made this TC just to protect this area where the wood and the gold is currently. Skirmishers killing some of the knights before chain barding comes in, though. The knights will go down. The longbows have to back away. Yeah, Overtaken, I think, is starting to sense this is bad. When the enemy can toss away skirms against knights, that's when you know you're behind an eco. And these skirmishers will be upgraded in about 60 seconds. Over here, there's gold mining for Dark. Over here, there's stone to mine for Dark. And Dark wants to drop a castle here. Is that a little ambitious right now? I think it's a little ambitious. Let's see what Dark can do with the skirms. The knights really need to be engaging. I assume this stable's also producing knights, but it's not. Okay, now we have a castle from Overtaken. This is 20 seconds before Dark goes in. Dark, you're kidding me. If this castle gets denied, if you lose your skirmishers, if you give Overtaken this position, Overtaken could overtake you. And Overtaken giving himself a real chance here. The knights finally paying off. And I think Dark just needed to back away. Never think about this castle here, but maybe drop it in the back. And okay, he says, why not both? Insert the classic why not both meme. You get this castle, you get the upgrades. Cav archers? Is he going to make Cav Archers? Do you see the upgrades he's getting? Parthian Tactics, Chemistry. But Dark just went from having a big lead and on the way to the Imperial Age to the game being even while he's in the Imperial Age. Crazy stuff. Now, of course, could make a Trebuchet here. There's a lot that he could go for, but Skirmisher's not going to do it on their own. Not when you don't have 30 of them anymore. You only have 10. In Japanese, I still think you could go Arbalest. I don't like Cav Archers because of how expensive it is. That's my issue with that. Now, if Overtaken can get his farm number high enough, he could eventually get to Imp as well. But I think in these situations, you need to raid. And you need to keep Dark on the back foot. Because Dark still is favored. And here comes the raids with the Knights. I run into this back area. I think gold could be a long-term concern for Dark because of the lack of middle control. And this region not being locked down. Like this gold, for example. There's 3 tiles left. There's about 1,200 there. He has this gold, which... Well, never mind. I think he's got enough gold for a while. But not having the hill secured on this side is awkward. And now he's going to drop another castle. So to be honest, there's not much Overtaken can do to deny that. And if it goes up, then this area is going to get trepped down. And then this castle is going to go up. But this fight not convincing at all for Dark. Overtaken now going to go for the light cav. But still, the skirms have imp upgrades. Dark up to 20 of them again. And they're not even light cav yet. They're just scouts. The problem, honestly, is just the fact that Dark got too far ahead. He did make a big mistake with that castle. But he's so far ahead that despite some of the weak moments that he's had after the Imperial Age, like here's a misclick. He wanted to finish that castle and then make the lumber camp. Still would prefer to have Dark's position. Oh my god! Dark's gonna drop a castle here. That's a great play, because that gives him gold, but it also denies that 4-tile gold, which Overtaken will want. And actually, Overtaken might have more gold problems now. Dark selling food for gold. And I noticed that he has 1 heavy cav archer back here, 2 heavy cav archers back here. Now, Japanese get full upgrades on cav archers, do they not? I think they have all blacksmith, armor, and attack upgrades. They get Parthian Tactics. They get Thumb Ring. They now get Bloodlines in the stable and Husbandry. The Japanese cav archers really aren't bad. It's just we're not, as a community, I don't think we're very used to seeing people going for cav archers if they don't have a discount. I could see it working. I don't think Samurai in this matchup are very strong, though Dark disagrees. I think Dark just thinks he has the game at this point. And why wouldn't you think that? 200 pop. The Treb down this castle. And then it's just going to be a... this is like... shoot, what's that game you used to play where you hop over each other? Growing up. Like Frog Hop or something? Like boop, boop, boop. Come on, there's a... Leapfrog, thank you. I'm not a child anymore, I forget. Yeah, you just leapfrog the castles in. And then you can build another one, too. Assuming he pays attention to that. A light cav rating on this side, but the cav archers are there. They have the mobility to chase that down. I actually, as this castle's going to be trebbed down now. Yeah, Dark's going to take this game. So I was a class clown in school, and I really did not appreciate my education. And I remember one day, our teacher got mad at us because we came into the room very loudly. And so we were late the next day, like 5 to 10 minutes late, 3 of my buddies. And we leapfrogged into class. Teacher wasn't very happy about that. And so the next time we did the wheelbarrow thing where you like hold the first person's on their hands and then you lift up their back legs like a wheelbarrow. I was Vikings. I got wheelbarrow for free. I had to, and I did that as well. So yeah, bringing back some memories here with these references. I was in detention a lot. Anyways, great game from Dark. Great game from Dark. I thought Overtaken almost brought it back, but I have to think back to the fact that Overtaken's starting strategy wasn't that good. I mean, it did lead him into longbows, and longbows gave him a shot, but economically And in terms of control of the game, all you really need to see here is the mini-map. I mean, this map should be about expanding to all areas, and Dark did that. Dark was able to take advantage of every single side with food. He was then able to take advantage of both sides with TCs, all the while keeping an eye and denying on resources in the middle and on the side of Overtaken's base. And so since Age of Empires snowballs from various points, I think this snowballed just from the decision to go fast castle, and it just didn't do enough for Overtaken.
Hey.
I mean, would you guys agree that Dark almost threw there, tossing away the skirms? That really says everything, right? Tosses away 30 skirms right before the imp upgrade, and then still was able to get the win because he was in such a good position. So maybe that decision wasn't great, tossing away 30 skirms, but everything else was really strong. Even was going to get relics soon. And Dark is 1 win away from moving on to a best-of-7 decider. This kid's 18 years old. This is pretty cool as an Age of Empires fan to see both up-and-comers playing well, but Dark especially, who we've seen a lot of over the last year, shining. Okay. Despite the result, though, I can't say that Dark has completely outplayed Overtaken in every game, which makes me think a comeback is possible. Dark has Islands and Bay as his home maps. We will not see those unless he loses a game. Overtaken's final home map is Cross. And I have to get an update on that game, but we should be getting into that game shortly. Overtaken had the right start in strat, but Dark countered him perfectly. Honestly, yeah. I mean, I still don't agree with Fast Castle on that map. But when you're Britons against Japanese, you probably want to get to Castle Age Archers as quickly as possible. And Dark's pressure was really good. Yeah, it was impressive. I agree with you on that. Oh, God, my contact, my right eye, is like... I rubbed my eye, and now my contact is... it's like behind my eyeball. 1 second. It's hidden cup. I can't see anything. People who wear contacts will understand. Can't see much, but I think chat is what facing right now. Okay, we're good. My eyeball's saved. That's good. Wonderful. Game 3 on Cross. What are you thinking as far as civs go, guys? Maybe Byzantines for Dark? Save Italians for Islands and go Byzantines here? Man, Dark has a sick draft here. Honestly. By the way, in the previous game, he had 9,000 more food collected. Could justify Malay possibly as well. And you've got Malay, Portuguese, Italians, Byzantines, Japanese in that draft. Dark is just taking all the good hybrid civilizations, all the civilizations that are good at mixing in water and land, which I think makes winning game number 1 really important because that was just a land map. Maybe something that Overtaken's more comfortable with. I think Overtaken deserves to win a game. Let's see his approach. I honestly cannot believe what I've just seen. What? What is this? Mayans. Okay, so we didn't know a lot about Overtaken going into the qualifiers. Overtaken has picked Mayans on Cross, and Mayans are more of a lands map civilization, more of an Arabia civilization. Overtaken has picked it on a map where typically you're going to want a lot of mobility and you're going to want to be fighting for water. That's Mayans against Italians, a civ that has cheaper fishing ships, cheaper dock techs, has a bit more versatility when it comes to the map. So I think I have Overtaken pegged. I think Overtaken is the type of player who will go for, like, he loves Arabia, basically. If this was Arabia, he'd probably perform better than a map where you've got hybrid maps or a tournament where you've got hybrid maps. And so while the fish do last a little longer with Mayans and all resources last a little longer with Mayans, and while I do think Mayans could do quite well against Italians with something like Arbalest and Eagle Warrior. I mean, what civ can't they kill with that? I think that Dark has chosen the correct civilization for the map, and it's at least pre-planned a bit better. So Overtaken's probably just a guy who plays Arabia very well and just plays a lot of ranked games, which makes sense for a 55th seed. It's just surprising to see a 55th seed win round 1 and then, play as well as he has here in round 2. So Overtaken from Estonia, a Dark from Russia. Both potential up-and-comers, though I don't know too much about Overtaken as far as his age or anything. I know he's played for years. But if you've been following Dark, Dark is no stranger to tournaments. He's been playing in other events. And he also is teammates with Vinchester. I feel like he's Vinchester's protege. Like, Vinchester's, 22 now? And he was a star when he was 17, 18, amongst the top 16 then, and Vinchester, of course, probably needs a practice partner, probably wants to talk to someone about the maps. He probably uses Dark for that. I think that goes a long way to be able to test things. Little unfortunate for Dark. He's looking for a shorefish to dock next to. He was very close on this side. Like, look how close he was to seeing that one. And then he's looking for this one. There you go. He's going to make a dock. And, ooh, look at the timing on this. Is there not still a hole there? Oh, there's a tree. I'm blind. Okay. But yeah, dock will go up. Palisade needs to be completed because the eagle is going to be annoying there. Yep. Good move from Overtaken to realize the dock's going to go up. And I'm curious to see what mines can do now. You've got Overtaken also docking. But I don't think that Overtaken is going to try and overtake on water too much. I expect him to probably live with one pond and then switch onto land. So Dark will probably try and gain a lead with fishing ships. Yeah, this is something you don't see too frequently, but this is reeds. Crazini really likes to have a variety of trees. So Crazini, I believe, added this touch. We on all of our maps, we've added some graphical touches for accuracy, right? We've got the rocks out here. Add just a few things just to spice it up a little bit, make it look a bit better. Overtaken stealing this turkey. Oh, excuse me, it's a goose. How could I have confused the two? I have one of these in my backyard right now. And actually, Overtaken could try and steal that boar, or could block the villager. I think Overtaken's going to lane this. Oh, big moment. Big moment, but Dark realized. Okay, so Dark at least knows what's going on. And Dark seeing the moment to go for it, and good move from Dark. Overtaken just wasn't quite close enough. You can block villagers when the boars are being lured in. You can also, if you want to, steal the boars. Dark weakening the boar with PC, finishing it off, no problem. And Overtaken just a little late to a house, it seems, adding walls. I'm not a fan of the strat that Overtaken has come into this game with, considering he's 2 games down. I think Dark will be feeling very good and very confident going forward for the series. Hey, chat, do you remember the set between Vinchester and Project Belgium yesterday? And do you remember where the pause happened right after Vinchester hit Castle Age? And I speculated that Vinchester didn't have the Caravel hotkey. Initially, people said it was crazy, and then we waited a bit more, and I was more and more sure. I messaged Vinchester about it, and he said he did not have a Caravel hotkey. He said it was really bad because then Project Belgium knew what was coming because Project Belgium assumed the same because of the pause. So yeah, I think I'll upload that moment to YouTube because it was really funny, but I called it. So Dark sending a villager to the south with a very fast feudal. The enemy hasn't even clicked up yet to the next stage. And Overtaken just going fast castle again. And also sending villagers to stone. What in the... Is this going to be Doomed Archers then? Is this 2019? Like, I know Mayan walls are cheaper, but it just doesn't feel very good. Have to wall this much, man. This is not what the map was supposed to be like. And look at this. I'm going to switch to Blue's point of view. There's a villager here, and Dark is going to try and sneak this villager behind. Actually, Dark could just win the fight. The scout's going to be stronger than the eagle with feudal age. Dark could just straight up win the fight, And Overtaken has to pull vills. This is not a confident play from Overtaken. A great play from Dark. Because he could just try and wall that villager in and send it to the corner, but instead he's getting a vill kill. Now you try and wall your villager in. And you just be annoying. And then you see the enemies doing this, and you just add fishing ships in every pond. Like, your food eco is going to be so good. With Italians, you could probably just go up to Castle Age as well. The Eagle went down. The Scout's still alive. Everything looking so good for Dark. Let's see what the quick walls look like. What? Telling you, Dark has talents. 2 villagers chasing. So far, Dark has killed. Oh, okay, deletes the palisade and places the dock as well. What? How? So now that dock's going to go up so he can make fires to hit the enemy fish. Yeah, kill the villager. Now it's probably going to attack fishing ships. Actually kind of weird there. It looks like Overtaken can somehow do damage to that vill through the diagonal, which sometimes happens. Yeah, at this point, this dock needs to be finished. It will. And now look at the resources for Dark because of the fishing eco. And with that fishing eco, we'll probably see the buildings go up. You cannot make a market until you make a mill, so the mill has to go up first. I think we'll eventually see some walls for Dark, but Dark is just playing this map as one should play it. Oh my god. That was so close. Okay, round 3. Oh my. Seriously? Can you stop, please? Because so many people watching wish they could do this, and everyone's just going to stop watching the channel, Dark. We can't have this. Momentum's going good for the tournament so far. The qualifiers are exciting. We can't have people not show up for the main event. See, people in chat are saying true. Don't do this. What a nerd. Okay, now the Vill... Alright, well, the finish wasn't as exciting as the start. But just think about the idle time for Overtaken. Already having to wall this much. And then having to have the villagers there all the time. And now needing to invest resources to defend this. That said, there's the market for Overtaken. Overtaken will make the blacksmith. Overtaken will click up as the stone. So you have to assume that plumed archers will come out at some point. That Vill brought honor to his family? Definitely. The thing is, that Vill, he was the youngest son in the group, or in the family. And all that villager did was annoy everyone in the family growing up because of the quick walls. Someone tries to go to dinner, they get quick walled in. Like, that villager was just pissing off the family. So, you know, the dad, dad was really rough. And dad was like, you know what? Go get a job. And kicked him out of the house. Villager went out there, and now he's a legend. You know, his family wishes they would have appreciated him more. So if you're an underappreciated quick walling child, just live your life, all right? Even if your family doesn't appreciate you, I think it's fine. Outposts, I don't know where I'm going with this. Outposts from Overtaken. I have a feeling that Overtaken might send vills forward and go for a castle drop. And I never have this feeling because it rarely happens in competitive AoE2. Of course, Overtaken doesn't have a scout, right? So maybe Overtaken just wants to see what's out there. Doink! Scout's dead now for Dark as well. Maybe just wants to see if Dark is on the ponds. Dark reacting to this with his own villager. Fight! Okay, Overtaken, your turn to quick wall, I guess. The fact that Dark went essentially fast feudal and has the same castle time is nuts, but it's not like Dark's going to have a castle. I called it! Here he comes! Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to run forward with that many villagers to build outposts unless you really want to know. Oh, boy. And Dark wants to go for knights. And they will hit Castle Age at basically the same time. Dark lost the scouts, so Dark won't know about this. Now, that castle's going to need to be walled in, and there's also potential that Dark could deny it with the tower. So this is either going to be amazing or awful for Overtaken. And boom! There's the castle. Villagers need to be walled in, and Dark is going to react with a tower, but I don't know if the tower is going to be enough to stop this. What a crazy play. But wait a second. Tell me Overtaken sees the stable. Okay, does see the stable. Now is adding palisade walls. This is a good play. Villagers, of course, not building the castle if that happens, so you need to make sure that, for the most part, villagers are building the castle. I think all those palisades have some HP on it. The tower's going to go up for Dark. The castle is going to go up for Overtaken. Yeah, and maybe one villager goes down, but I don't even think one goes down. Oh my goodness. I mean, one goes down for Dark. What in the world is this? This is crazy, man. Like, Dark has the fish. This is what you're supposed to do. He has the fish. His economy is much better. You know what? If he just garrisons his knights, he's going to have +2 and makes 5 rams. He could just ram it right down. But Overtaken has plumed archers here already. And Overtaken might make mangonels as well, and then maybe that won't work. Oh, God. I didn't realize that Dark was still pressuring back here. We'll rip to Overtaken's food eco. It says he has 8 on food. I think he's about to lose all of his fishing ships. This is as all in as it gets. And look at the plumed archers now. Hitting the gold. Dark does have more gold over here. Remember, Overtaken does not have the scout. I love this. And another castle will come up soon, too. He's got 300 stone. So one person has control of all 4 ponds. Dark really needs to get these fishing ships working on the salmon out here. 4 ponds on cross, but could lose everything on land to castle drops and plumed archers. Oh! Good micro there from Overtaken with the splits. We'll back away to the castle for now. Dark is sending knights forward, which is honestly brilliant. Because there's no defense for Overtaken there. So Overtaken just needs to make walls. I think there's actually a hole here. That's not something Dark knew. That will be house walled as well. Dark's one and only TC is about to go down. Dark doesn't have the stone for a town center because he tried to tower. Are you kidding me? So 0 TCs for Dark. But 4 ponds right now. And it all depends on the micro. The siege could take out the plumes, but the plumes could easily take out the siege. I mean, imagine plumed archers getting behind this right now. Hey, Overtaken. Please make your next castle right where that TC was. just for the YouTube thumbnail. No, I think the best castle will be over here. I don't think he has it scouted. But I think his castle should be over here. Okay, he's moving around. Attack round from... Oh, man, that was a sick attack round from Dark, but a sicker split from Overtaken. And yeah, now you really have to think about where you place your castle. I mean, you could also justify building the castle at home. Micro Overtaken, who needs to pull a villager to repair. You have to be repairing that mangonel. 1,000 stone. Oh, attack rounds and big hit. Again, if that was repaired, that never happened. That's a mistake. That's a mistake from Overtaken. Can't get away with those mistakes. And again, you normally can't get away with castle drops, so who really am I to talk? As he has enough stone to make 2 castles now. But there's 3 mangonels here. I know his splits have been good, but you're playing with fire here, and you're about to get burned. I'm going to drop a castle over here. Again, he seems to have the gold scouted. And I guess needs to just check that wood line. A castle over there next would be amazing. Outpost goes down. Overtaken just hoping to see the siege before it arrives. Oh! Oh! Giving me nightmares over here. Good house walling at home. Full focus on the front for Overtaken. At what point... Like, what if the fish runs out? Now you see a TC for Dark. That could so easily be castle dropped. Dark still doesn't have a town center. The mangonel for Overtaken. Dark micros as well. Their micro's been so good this game. And the plumed archers are coming over here. That TC could be denied. I know TC. You know TC. We know TC. Everyone know TC. What the... And now there's a hole, so the plumed archers can run in. Now the mangonels need to run this way. You know, this game just breaks my brain. Because in game 1 and 2, Overtaken was playing the meta, and he said, screw the meta. I'm not going to do this anymore. And he's going to go in after 3 Mangonels? I'm sorry, Overtaken. This is too much. His balls are too big. I'm surprised he can even walk around right now. 3 Mangonels. Dark still has the Mangonels alive. The Plumed Archers are going to run away. There's a castle now for Overtaken. Or not for Overtaken. Sorry, I'm just used to saying castles by Overtaken. It's actually by Dark this time. And I guess the next one's going to go on the hill. And Dark will... Oh my god. Overtaken, make some siege first, my friend. Don't do this. No. This is so epic. Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. No! Oh, he deleted the castle foundation. Thank God. I'm so invested into this right now. Like,
Shot it.
how the rest of my weekend goes is largely based on how this game goes right now. Because Dark is going imp in that TC. His only TC is going imp. What? The micro from Overtaken. He's even sending in some vills. He doesn't have his own Mangonel there. There's no repair villager for Dark, though. And so he loses 2 of the Mangonels. The Plumed Archers will probably take out the 3rd as well. Dark needs to repair. Then again, Dark will probably make it to Imp. Oh my god. I mean, many of the Plumed Archers are weak. But still, the 3 Mangonels went down. No wonder he had the confidence before. Now the Scorpions will go down as well. Again, still weakening and killing Plumed Archers. Overtaken has the Vill lead. Can Overtaken take out this TC before Dark is an Imp? Dark is making siege from this side. He doesn't really have defense for that. I feel like if the Mangonel's on the hill and maybe Petard... I'll make Petards. Come on. Because you should see that Dark's score has dipped. And that normally tells you that they're imping. But that'd be a tough call. He might just go imp himself, I guess. What does Dark do in imp? Well, he makes trebs, right? He makes trebs. But he's not going to get this town center up. And good job from Overtaken. And actually, Overtaken has outposts over here. And he might end up spotting other areas. Like, he's looking around with Plumed Archers everywhere. And he will see that Dark has a TC there. See, Dark has food income because of the fish. But he doesn't have a lot else. Now, Overtaken is also imping with 3 farms back at home. What? Oh my goodness, dude. Clearly, this is not a strategy that you're going to see in the main event of Hidden Cup, so thank God you guys are watching the qualifiers. This is incredible. Oh my god, the Knights are in. Ah! He forgot about them! He forgot about the Knights! I forgot about the Knights! The Knights went through 2 layers of houses. And now, he doesn't have defense. Oh god, abandon everything. 3 Knights. Oh my word. This is ridiculous. Dark makes it to the Imperial Age. He can now make trebuchets. He doesn't really have access to gold, but could sell the food maybe at the market. There is some gold here. Probably enough for now. The Plumed Archers probably need to come back home. I think Dark is too focused, so he's not really microing the Knights. He's got TCs elsewhere to expand. So a lot of the gold is currently castled, but that could change in a bit. Now, it's not like Overtaken has the resources to tech switch out of Plumed Archers. He can't go into Eagles, which would be epic here. He honestly can't even get Bracer. Okay, and 2 monks, I guess, end up solving the problems that Overtaken's having at home, except for the lack of food. He does not have food. So how do you benefit from Imp? I guess you can make some trebs if you have wood and gold, and more plumes. But I foresee this castle going down, and I foresee Overtaken not having the economy to really gain much from Imp. So he will probably make trebs out of this castle, and then he could take the only castle that Dark has out. Ooh, oh. The plumes could also take the treb out. Dark has to pack it up. Ooh, that sucks. Yeah, because of the pressure from Overtaken, Dark's castle had to be so far back here. Now, you want to hear something that's funny? Both players are going to need to, like, sell and buy resources. But Overtaken is in the situation where he needs food and he will try to buy it. And Dark has food, so he's selling it. So if you sell food, it makes it cheaper to buy. And if you buy food, it makes it
Shot it.
you get more in return for selling it. So, full-on stonks here. 0 on food currently for Overtaken, and he's just focused on the micro, I suppose. I mean, can you really doubt him when he's actually winning this game? No wheelbarrow, no farm upgrade, no fish, no problem. Now, Dark's winning this, but these are still the games that would tilt me, because Dark has played this exactly how this game should be played. It's just Overtaken went for something that was so ridiculously over the top, it just worked. And honestly, has had really good micro, too. I think Dark has been a little slow to getting repair bills out, which is important. But say goodbye to your castle, Dark. He's got another one over here. This is one of the games of the qualifiers so far. And Overtaken is going to have a lot of fans after all these uploads hit YouTube. Oh my god! Oh my god! Ah! 5 farms, no horse collar, no fish. What a game. What? Oh my god, dude. Like, I really wish that the end game statistics didn't figure in resources bought and sold at the market. Because Overtaken probably bought a lot of food. And so it's going to be a little deceiving, but still, I cannot wait to look at the stats to just see the sheer number of resources collected from each player. It's probably polar opposites. Oh, my word. Oh, what a game. Scores 2-1. Overtaken continues in round 2 here. I mean, what a way to get momentum back, too. Like, what if Dark starts to lose it mentally a bit after that? And then struggles in the next game. I suppose we shouldn't waste too much time here, but YouTube, make it to the main event of Hidden Cup March 18th through the 21st. You probably won't see that, though. Unless Overtaken qualifies. Full best of 5 will, of course, be in the description. There's the KD. Oh, my goodness, man. Like, double the food eco for Dark. Again, it doesn't even feel like Overtaken collected 5,000 food. Like, some of the market shenanigans probably show up in some of these stats, but more food, all the food you'd ever want on water, but you're not controlling the middle of the map. Overtaken took the gold and the stone in the middle of the map. Stone and gold better than food confirmed. 93% of the map was explored by Dark. He was able to see where he needed to be. He just could not get the middle. And the timeline just looks like a normal game. This might as well have just been Arabia and a Hun War. I mean, this timeline does not really describe what that game was. That's ridiculous. Overtaken is such a legend, man. So fun to watch, but he still has an uphill battle in this series. Yeah, I said that Overtaken deserved at least one win in this series. This is true. I did not think it would be like that. My word. So the next game will likely be on islands. He's going to land again. Right? He has to. He hates fish. If it's islands, I fully expect Overtaken to land again. And just go lick style. Look at his civilizations here. So there's islands and bay remaining. For islands, I'm thinking... Well, bay, maybe he goes Mongols, so maybe he goes Spanish. Castle drop? I mean, you could go conquistadors. That would be strong. You know what's concerning about this, guys? Is every time you get to see a high-level player doing something wacky like this, is you as a low elo legend, you justify it when you try it too. And then on Tuesdays, I hop in to cast the low elo legend game, and someone goes for 0 farm upgrades, 3 farms, forward castle drop, and fails. And I start to talk about why you shouldn't do that, and then everyone's like, but T90, but Overtaken. Overtaken did it. Oh, God. What an entertaining player. All right, let's see. Game 4. It's on islands. It's Spanish against Portuguese. Fun Civ matchup, right? Spanish-Portuguese, but I think we know that Portuguese are probably the better water Civ of the two. Get into the game. I'm excited. Overtaken in the blue. Overtaken was very close to winning game 1. Dark came back in incredible fashion. Overtaken also had a competitive game 2. This is easily the best series that I've seen in round 2 so far. That's saying a lot too, because Miguel Licks was also really good, but I actually think this series has been better to watch if you just forget about the names themselves. So Spanish for Overtaken. An underdog. Overtaken was... Why are people saying imp right now? I don't know why people are saying imp. Overtaken was 55th seed and beat the 10th seed in round 1, 3-0. And now here he's up against Dark in round 2, who also was the underdog. Dark was the 42nd seed, beating the 20-something seed Fish 3-2. So the two underdogs make it here. And let's talk about the bonuses. This is islands, and Portuguese, I think, are a superior civilization. Now, can someone remind me if Spanish get fast fire? Welcome, Mr., by the way, who says he's catching this live. Do Spanish get fast fire? Because Spanish are kind of an underrated water civilization, because their tech tree is pretty diverse. Like, overall, they have full upgrades on trash units. They get Paladin, they get Siege Ram, they get Onager, they get Bombard Cannon. They, of course, do not have Crossbow. But yeah, okay, they do have everything on water, and they have the build bonuses too. Their cannon galleons are also really sick. Kind of doubt we'll see them. So I suppose, in theory, Spanish could play water meta here. But Spanish could also go for a landing, and Overtaken is probably that type of player. But yes, Portuguese excel against civs that don't get fires, and there's not many out there, but one in particular was Vikings we saw yesterday. Portuguese just shred Vikings. It's just straight up... It's not a civ win, but it's just a straight up counter if you get to caravels. Whereas here, caravels are good against the galleons that the Spanish can make, but I don't see caravels being significantly stronger. I don't see caravels being the only choice because fire ships could be out there. All right, so we're seeing a back dock. This tells us something. Back dock normally indicates you're not going to go as aggressive. You want your fishing ships to last longer back here. So, back dock incoming. You look at Dark. Dark is going front dock.
Hola.
So I think the meta here is open up with fires or open up with galleys. I think we'll see a lot of the top 8 in the main event opening up with galleys. Very micro-oriented. The meta has definitely shifted a little. I think Dark will just try and win water, and then either Overtaken just wants to back dock and win water, or maybe go fast castle transport. I'm sensing a transport because he's sending so much to wood right now. Transports are 120 wood, or maybe it's 125. Voiceless says, T90, longtime YouTube watcher, first time here for a live game. Weird to hear you talk at one-time speed for once. Well, thank you for thinking I'm so boring you have to speed through my videos. You can't take a whole video on fast speed or normal speed. I see how it goes. Okay. Thanks for showing up to the live stream just to make me feel bad. You're great. I'm kidding. I know a lot of people do that. In fact, if you really want to have a fun time, have one too many drinks, pull up one of my videos, turn it to 2 times speed, and then turn it to 0.225 speed. And then the fishing ship. I sound like freaking Dory trying to do a whale call in Finding Nemo. If you've ever seen that. All right. Back dock. Back fishing. Nice and safe. Overtaken is pushed in all of his deer.
Monday?
Castle drops. See, I want to say a castle drop's not realistic, but we all saw the previous game. But transport castle drop seems a lot different and a lot more difficult to pull off. And one more thing to mention about Portuguese before I forget about it is if it goes late on islands, when players start running out of resources, you can make Vitorias. So you kind of have the mindset of kill if you're Spanish here. You have to finish off Portuguese. That way they just can't camp back with you Vitorias. Dark got a housed there, which hurt him slightly. Dark is on the way to feudal age already. Overtaken is not. Overtaken's going to stone. Oh my god, you're kidding me. If he can pull this off. Spanish builders build 30% faster. So I would, if I'm Dark and I don't see Overtaken and Feudal Age at the same time as me, I would make outposts all over my island. You have your scout, but I would make an outpost here. I would make an outpost here and here, just to make sure I'd spot it. I slowed T90 down to half speed so he sounds like Ron Swanson. Nice. All right. Overtaken is going for Castle Drop. It has to be. How do you do it, though? How do you get a like, how do you get villagers over? That's the thing. The enemy's going to have navy. The transport would have to come out now, and he would have to be really sneaky, and even then he could only put 5 villagers in the transport. It's like... it's like... the previous game was the second to last level in a video game, and then this is the final boss. Ha ha! You've been able to win with a castle drop on Cross. Well, wait until you see what we have for you on islands. 2 transports? No, he needs resources for other things. Whoa, Dark's going transport. Dark's going transport. I think Dark is countering the fact that Overtaken's doing nothing by immediately transporting a villager over. Is there going to be a barracks somewhere, maybe? Also, I like how Dark is building houses, because eventually if you get Town Watch, houses give you vision. How do you like it? He says. Now, it'd be funny if Overtaken transports his scout over and then doesn't see this. His scout is over here. Overtaken. This is his point of view. Should see the scout. Yep, reacts to it. Nice reaction. But now Dark doesn't have his scout at home, so Dark might start freaking out a bit. And this tower is not going to accomplish anything. Assuming Overtaken scouts it's happening, it's not going to accomplish anything. Now, it's interesting because I think Overtaken's expecting there to be an archer range, so he's really worried. He does not see that tower. He's going front dock, which I assume means transport from the front dock. Oh my god, here it comes. Overtaken does see the palisade walls, so probably just needs... Well, you have enough stone where you could consider just sending the rest of your villagers over to... Oh, Dark with the Vil Snipe? What? She didn't lose any HP. What was that? Yeah, honestly, just abandon your stone, and then just send additional villagers to gold, and you buy that castle. But that tower ends up working out for Dark. So he's sending the villas around. They have stone in their hands, I think. So he should drop off the stone and just go to gold. Okay, now, if Dark saw the forward dock, he should expect a transport. Here come the villagers. Dark doesn't have anything over here to see it, and he has so much exposed resources over here. Imagine if a castle goes up right here. Oh, he's finding the other stone. What in the world? Now, Dark's eco, again, in 2 straight games, has been better because he's had fishing ships. But what do you do to stop a castle drop? You honestly can't stop it. Well, actually, that's a lie. You could with a tower. This is Dark's point of view. Overtaken trying to scout to see what's out here. Dude, stay away from the shoreline, you crazy person. Why are you here? I think Dark has to pull vills and just stop these villagers from building something. There's 2 transports. Oh! You guys called it! Get out of his brain, Twitch chat. Who said that earlier? Okay, so more villagers are on the way. But that's going to be spotted the whole way in. And now the villagers have to just find a spot to drop the castle and wall themselves in and hope that Dark doesn't tower. These villagers are probably not the ones that are going to build it. More! What the? They're everywhere! Build it! Build it fast! It's Spanish builders, bro. What is this game? You need to get the castle found. Is Dark not? Okay, Dark has loom. If you could see me right now, I have both of my hands on my head. Oh, God. Oh, God. Here it comes. Here it comes! Dark, you have to click every single villager and hope for the best here. That castle is probably still going to go up. Now, you might think, well, Overtaken's going to lose a lot of villagers. Well, yeah, but so is Dark if Dark has villagers here when the castle completes. The castle's at 60%. Overtaken's clicking. How many does he? He doesn't have. He's dead! GG! What a great job from Dark. Look at Dark's economy. He doesn't have anyone working. He knew he needed to deny the castle. Wait a second. Is there still a transport out here? There's another transport coming. It's not over yet. Oh, God, he deleted it. No. Okay, he deleted it. Like, honestly, it's just a great play from Dark. Because he reacted to it. He expected it. He reacted to it. He pulled the proper amount of villagers. I guess he learned his lessons from the previous game. And now what Dark needs to do is just not allow another castle to go up. Dark is patrolling in with the fires. That transport will go down. And this is the end of the road for Overtaken. Dark moves on to the best of 7 decider. And that will be up against the winner of Backed and Song Song. What a crazy game, though. I mean, the strategy is very all in. I give credit to Dark for expecting it, for towering the stone, doing what he could without having to overinvest to delay it. And then he seemed to expect it. He had his scout. Wait, he brought his scout back, didn't he? He transported his scout back, because I recall seeing it here, so he could see what was going on. He then had made an outpost, and then he had, like, you have no idea, if you don't play this game a lot, you have no idea how difficult it is to click like 15 villagers against 15 other villagers like that. Especially when the castle foundation's there, because with DE, sometimes you'll accidentally click the castle foundation. So many clicks, and he was able to take out those villagers. I think for Overtaken, it's tough. Like, maybe you wall in the 4 initial villagers. I think it was a mistake for him to go near the shoreline. Maybe he should have just made a run for it. I think either way he's spotted, though, and there's always a potential that he could get towered. Okay, so another thing to bring up. Like, what do you guys think happens if Overtaken's sneaky with the castle and drops it, let's say, over here? What do you think happens? I think he's dead then, personally. Like, Overtaken wouldn't be able to make enough conks to threaten Dark, because Dark would have fishing ships, and Dark would probably be able to boom and make some monks, or maybe even go tower defense. So I think in Overtaken's mind, he felt the need to deny a stone and a gold with the castle. Yeah, potentially 3 conks would do a lot of damage, but conquistadors are not plumed archers. And plumed archers were he was able to win with plumes in the previous game because it was just wood and gold. But he would actually need food income. He'd have 0 fishing ships, and he has 4 on food and 100 food left on that bush. So I actually realistically don't think he would have been able to make many conks. I think that castle drop needed to win him the game. But salutes in chat, please, for Overtaken, who probably will be a player that we'll have to look into more for YouTube uploads. I don't know if he plays ranked games like this. He doesn't play it like that against me. He tends to play very standard, but maybe felt the need to switch it up a bit to be able to beat Dark here. And those salutes also extend to Dark. If I have it correct, he's 18 years old, and he is 1 best of 7 win away from making it into the top 16 in Hidden Cup, which is just crazy that those words are coming out of my mouth.